Let's get to the bottom of this one. Unspoken truths that I miss one. Tap into the minds of the people, rather acknowledge before I dismiss one. Atheists, Muslim, Christians, Buddhists, they all got usage. All got perspective, it's a collective. Get to the bottom where the truth is. Where the heart's uncovered. Where you detox from all of the lies you smothered. Where them tries could have killed you, but with faith you recover. Yup. Peel off the makeup, we finna take off. Never said it'd be a cakewalk. Meditate till we charged up. Execute goes regardless. Decalcify my pineal. Breaking language barriers, we saw millennials. Planets passing age rotations, down me we owe. So down me we know. Sometimes we can be slow, that's why my ears open. Every drop you add could complete the ocean. Speak up, play your part too. Been vulnerable, it's so hard to.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kimberly. We are the People's Podcast, and I have my co-host Appetite and my co-host Henry.
Yo, what's good? What's good?
What's up with my good people today?
Good afternoon. I'm alive.
I feel that all is well. All is truly well.
And
I'm excited. I'm so excited. I'm excited about this subject. I know that I am not the only one that deals with this. I would like to say that I can't speak for everyone, but I believe that my brother Appetite also deals with this. So let's get into the title and then tell me what you think of it. So when you hear social overstimulation, Appetite, what do you think when you hear that?
Ooh, just like crowded places, just a lot of energy, a lot of just, man, it's very, I can tell you this, it's very overwhelming, for real. It's definitely overwhelming.
Yeah. Henry, when you hear that, what do you think?
I think there's a lot of aspects to it. I do think that if you can boil it down to being social for an extended period of time, varies between different people, and people might reach their end quicker than others. And then they need a time out.
Keep going. I was agreeing.
Oh, well, I was going to say that, and just based on sociological constructs like politics and people arguing and stuff, you get burnt out on that really quick too. That would be another aspect of it. Being not in a social situation, social media and whatnot.
Yeah, and so when I come up with the subject, I wasn't meaning just social media when I said social. I'm not using it as in a social media aspect, but people do get burned out on social media. And they do get that anxiety and the form of overstimulation. I'm just meaning in an aspect of more than yourself in a room.
Yeah, no, that's why I led with that. I figured that's what you meant, was more of the physical aspect of it.
Uh-huh. So I deal with it a lot. I get hyperstimulated a lot. And if I evolve myself around the children plus adults plus I do the shows plus I do the review things and listen to them and support them, and then I have artists' music I listen to. So all that is a sensory overload for me. And I'm already dealing with emotion of feeling everybody who comes in contact with me. So I'm already accepting their energy within my space, plus my other senses are overstimulated because I'm also using all of them.
Would you say that sensory overload is aspect of it, or just another way of saying it?
It's an aspect of it. That's not the main only reason for it, though. I don't think it's just a sensory overload. I think it's also exchange of energy. If someone's not just negative, they can be even happy, and it's so much for me. And I'll sit here and I could think of a happy thought and I could think of a happy moment, or I'd be talking calmly to try to maintain myself from over exciting, and I can feel my head starting to get really tight. And it's not because my voice is raising, not because my temperature is raising, nothing. It's because I'm trying to control myself a lot from energy.
Well, yeah, I would assume that's why podcasts are generally about an hour, right? I mean, humans' attention span normally ranges around about an hour, some few minutes. Even a good conversation can burn you out, and you'd be like, "Okay, this has been great," but
And I was doing something almost every day of the week, and I realized that I can't no more. I have to have more than 2 days off for me. I have to be able to take that mental break and be like, okay, I'm going to shut down, because if not, then it shuts me down. And it gets to the point where I get agitated, and I have to like shut all the lights off, shut all the noise off, drown myself in the bathwater, and just allow myself to breathe. Because I will get to the point where I'm so nauseous, and I can feel all my sensories just like tugging at me.
well, yeah, it's like abrasions on your skin. If you rub your skin too much, it gets red and irritated. Same thing happens to our brains. Let's hear from Matt. I feel like I've been talking. I don't want to hear from Matt while I get overstimulated and fill my coffee back up.
Okay, so, we can get into a couple videos. I only have 3. I didn't want to do too many videos on this subject because I want everybody to, because not every situation is the same.
Right.
There's different kinds of social anxiety or overstimulation. So I want to get into these videos so we can hear a couple of different things.
If you're a highly sensitive person, here's 5 strategies I use to help deal with overstimulation. 1. Get out of the situation. When overstimulated, it's easy to freeze and not take evasive action. 2. Close your eyes for a while. It shuts down a major stimulus. 3. Take regular breaks from the situation. 4. Go outside for a while. HSPs are usually soothed by nature. 5. Try taking a walk just for a few minutes. And remember, these things need to be practiced.
If you're overstimulated, here is my really quick hack of getting out of that moment. It's ear massage, auricular massage. What I typically do is I take these 2 fingers, I place it on the upper part of my ear, and I simply massage all the way down. The reason why this works is not only is it distracting to the system, but it has tons of nerve endings which promote a sense of relaxation. So typically, and I do this a lot when I'm in like crowded places where I feel like too much is coming at me to process information, and you'll see me doing it sometimes when I'm nervous, it helps me kind of reorganize what I'm feeling and what I'm doing, and promotes a sense of calm so that I can progress to the next step. Try it.
Here are 5 signs that you don't just have ADHD, you don't just have autism, you have both. Sign number 1, you have a very narrow window of tolerance. This means that you are very easily overstimulated and very easily understimulated. Now, a lot of people don't realize understimulation is a thing, but it's very common, especially amongst ADHDers, and it's basically when everything in the world is so boring that you actually want to like crawl out of your skin. Sign number 2 is that you don't think you have social issues and therefore you don't think you meet the criteria for autism, but when I'm done with this point, you're going to rethink all of that, I promise. A lot of autistic ADHDers use their ADHD spontaneity, impulsivity, and a penchant for performance that a lot of us have to compensate for the social issues caused by our autism. So it can look like we don't have social issues when in fact there's a lot of struggle going on under the surface. Sign number 3 is that from the outside, it looks like you don't have the ADHD need for novelty or the autistic need for routine, when in fact you actually have both. And instead of canceling each other out, as you imagine they might do, they just kind of layer on top of each other, sort of like if you're playing jazz and country at the same time, and it's very discordant. Sign number 4 is that you have a system for everything. Nothing seems to come naturally to you. Instead, you have to develop a specific system in order to get literally anything done. And sign number 5 is that your ADHD convinces you to impulsively buy things that your autistic sensory issues will never allow you to actually use. So for example, a lot of autistic people do not like the feel of jewelry on their skin, but a lot of ADHDers impulsively buy jewelry because it's shiny and cute and we like it. If this resonates with you, hello, my name is Megan. I am also an autistic ADHDer, and I'm also a neurodivergent life coach. This basically just means that I work with other neurodivergent people, and I use my lived experience to help guide you through yours. If you've been looking for someone who just gets it and someone you can talk to about what it's like to be both autistic and ADHD, I would love to talk with you. Go to my Schmink in Schmio and book a discovery call.
I didn't hear a lot of that, but I heard some very important things.
Yeah. What was that?
ADHD is an adult problem, for one. Wow, you do want to talk about sensory overload and ADHD? Those things kind of go hand in hand. I got diagnosed with ADHD when I was little, and it's a fucking nightmare. At least mine is. So I really appreciated her take on that. She's a peach.
Yeah. I was pushing that bubble of being labeled as that also when I was younger, and I don't know. I realize that I do have a hard time focusing at times, and I do multitask a whole bunch, and I have every chance to stand up, I'll do it. So I'm constantly moving my hands or moving around or shifting in my seat or touching my face and whatnot because I can't just sit still. But yet, there's a difference, though. I realize when you're younger, they're going to label you that because you had a vivid imagination, because you had that want to know things.
Well,
Because
yeah,
you were
I think a lot of
curious.
kids probably do have ADHD. I know I did too, but I don't think always filling people with drugs is necessarily the answer to that. And one of the biggest things that helps my ADHD is well, meditation and focus and music and things. But part of the problem I have with ADHD is staying on point with a task or project or projects. All of them can become absolute pitfalls in my mind. Like, this is pointless. Everything I'm doing is a lie. I'll sidetrack myself and I'll sit there for hours staring at a wall, like thinking I'm fucking up completely when I'm not. And the next day it won't be like that. It's
I
a
can
nightmare.
agree. I can relate to that. I can relate to that. As I got older, I was able to control it more.
Yeah.
Having that self-control and that want for inner peace, that's really got me through in life. I snap. I get irritated easy, and I have to realize that I only can control myself and my emotions. So I have to constantly remind myself that you got this, you're okay. You got this, you're okay. Because if not, then my mind will take over. Appetite. Were you diagnosed with ADHD also?
Man, that and a number of other things, I feel like a lot of what y'all are speaking on is what I deal with, and some, and like you said earlier, it's just like we all do deal with it differently. You feel me? And I always feel like they try to put a measure on how affected you are and who has it worse. And I just feel like everyone has it, in their own way, as bad as possible. As you know, it just depends on the person. But at the end of the day, even then, we all have our own struggles. And what I'm getting at is, with me personally, I learned a lot of new things about myself, like within the past 2 years, and being misdiagnosed and just discovering and doing my own research, and then paying attention to when you go to therapy and like group sessions and stuff. You learn from others that have extreme, uh how can I put it, they have it to more on an extreme level than you, but you recognize a lot of yourself in those group sessions. And what I'm saying is also is like, if you do know that you deal with certain things, I mean, sometimes it doesn't hurt to just get with others, you know what I mean, and talk about it and get it out, because um truthfully, sometimes it's hard for others to, and even myself, I'll speak for myself. I know it was hard for me to accept, certain things that I deal with mentally. So um I'm in a growth spurt right now where I am encouraging myself more, and to get away from the thought of accepting what I accepted in the past with, okay, I do have these things. And maybe what I used to share with people is I don't see our mental issues as being mental issues. I see them as being superpowers, because not everybody can deal with what we deal with. It's just a lighter side of looking at everything. And that's what I've told myself for like the past 4 or 5 years, is that we have superpowers, man. Anybody out there that's struggling with accepting it, just look at it like you have a superpower. Not everybody can deal with what you deal with. You can have 1,000,001 things on your mind, you understand, and still not go crazy. But the air quotes, these are big air quotes, the average person that doesn't deal with what they say we deal with, let them get 2 or 3 things on their mind and see what happens to them. They throw a shit fit, go crazy, So don't look at it as something that's a weakness. It's actually a strength. And that's
Yeah.
that's how I've learned to deal with my thing. Is like, it's a strength. Look at it as a strength. It's not a weakness. You're not wrong for being to recognizing one's emotions and being intact with yourself. You're not.
That is a very healthy viewpoint on that, and I appreciate it very much.
You know, when I made a post about me having headaches and anybody spiritual helped me, everybody had great advice, and I appreciate all their advice, and everybody was thinking that they had it figured out, that I needed to remove negative energy, that I had to not get anxious so much, not stress so much. I had to stay positive. I had to maybe smoke marijuana. I had to maybe eat chocolate, or I had to meditate more. And not everybody was feeling exactly what I was saying. Not everybody was receiving what I was trying to say. Maybe I lacked magnesium. Maybe I this, maybe I that. Them are okay, and it's okay for them to feel that way, because I asked for it and I wanted that advice. It's not what I was searching for, because not everybody was realizing when I'm overstimulated, it's not because of negative energy. I don't think negative. I think positive in every aspect. You can ask anybody who really knows me that I don't have a negative side to me. I will see the positive in every situation. I don't allow negative emotions to affect me. And I meditate a lot, and I never wear shoes, and I smoke. And there are a lot of other things that they were telling me that I need to do that I already do. It's the fact of perception. When people perceive something that someone's told them, you have 2 choices. Either you make that perception become your reality, or you allow it to become just their opinion. And there's nothing wrong with everybody having an opinion. I love other people's opinions because it helps me see things differently at times. Yet you can't label, like my brother said earlier, you can't label a collective whole when everybody's DNA and everybody's structure is different. So you put a mass variety of people on Ritalin and say that they're bipolar, schizophrenia, that they are manic depressant, that they have ADHD, when all they do is have a very vivid imagination. They don't want to sit still because they don't want to be told that you have to focus on one thing. They want to explore all options. I used to take things apart when I was younger. Hearing voices, everybody should have an internal voice. Everybody should have that analog within self saying, this is right, this isn't right.
Not everybody does.
No, but they honestly should. And that's the reason why that people are labeled as a collective whole, because they're assuming that those that do are crazy. Those that...
No, go ahead. I didn't want to cut you off.
It's okay.
I'm a prime candidate for drugs, like Ritalin. I got put on Ritalin when I was younger, and it did exactly what it was supposed to do, and I hated it. I got put on antidepressants for a minute, and they did exactly what they were supposed to, and I hated it. I feel I'm a person who has to embrace their flaws live with the things I'm done. And I'm not against modern medicine. I know people are prime candidates for drugs who absolutely thrive on them, you know, certain things like that. And that's absolutely beautiful. But I want to have my problems, if that makes any sense. I really do feel numbed out and zombie like on them and not myself. And it's kind of a horrible hubris, but I have tried to embrace my flaws and superhuman abilities like Appetite so eloquently put it. And sometimes that's hard, but there's things I do.
So I'm kind of glad that you chimed in when I was speaking. And I'm not going to say interrupt me because I don't feel that you did. I appreciate the fact you chimed in when I was speaking, because that's where I was getting, is that their perception doesn't have to be a label to you. You are not crazy because you're not in the norm of things what society has said. When I was put on Ritalin, I would stand on top of my chairs and tell them I was drowning. I was like hallucinating. I was somewhere else from the Ritalin. It didn't make me a zombie. It made me crazy. And and they put me on such a high dose that it was bad. I couldn't even control my thoughts. And because I asked a lot of questions that took things apart, and because I wanted to do a whole bunch of things at one time, that I must have had ADHD, because I was exploring, touching things, seeing things. I wanted to know. I had a wander. And I don't mean wandering as a walking. I mean to wander. I wanted to know everything. I wanted to know life. And I wanted to see how everything worked. And I wanted to see what was the purpose of it. And I just wanted to know everything. So because of that, they assumed that I had all these problems, and it made me really, really sick and made me really crazy. And I couldn't control my thoughts at all. So I went and talked to the counselors and stuff, and they had me in special ed classes, and I held back in grades and everything because of it. And I went and talked to the counselor, and I asked them to have a meeting without my parent, because my parent was doing it just because they wanted money from the state, I believed. So when they end up taking me, and putting me in this meeting and whatnot, they end up taking me off the medication to see how I was, and they tested me. I actually end up skipping a grade, and they pulled me right out of special ed, and they said, no, you're advanced. It's not that you need to be in these classes at all or on this medication. But people want to label you as something because that feels better to know that you're bipolar. It feels better to know that I gave you a title.
Yeah, though having that title is important. I don't feel maybe you were engaged properly as a child. And I base that off the information that I wasn't engaged in school whatsoever. I always felt like it was not a place where I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn outside of work. They didn't make learning fun. I know a lot of my teachers tried, but I don't think that really falls on the teachers so much.
No. And I was ignored a lot as a child. I was told that I talked too much because I asked a lot of questions, and because I was into things, and I was taking things, like I said, taking things apart. I put it back together and it always worked. It was just the fact that I wanted to know how it ran. I wanted to know what it looked like on the inside. And because of that, I was crazy. Because of that, I was too much to handle. Because of that, they didn't want me to come with them because they had to watch me. They had to interact with me. And they didn't want to. They wanted that child that sat there quietly, that they didn't have to interact with, and that contained themselves. Which I would have contained myself even if you just let me go. Stop watching me. I wasn't going to kill myself. I just wanted to experiment and explore. I never tried nothing heavy. I never did nothing crazy in my life. I just wanted to explore and experiment things. I wanted to see. But because of that, you get labeled.
Yeah. Did you want people to leave you alone, adults? Oh, no, please, Appetite, go on.
I'm sorry. I do apologize. I was just saying, like, with what everyone's saying, to me, it just is common sense, right? If we want to break this down, it's common sense just to look at it as, at an early age, you're soaking up everything. You're a sponge. So naturally it's curiosity, but they break it down so intense that they have to put a label on it. You get looked at because, some of the smartest children are labeled.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden people are amazed. And it's like, wow, you're amazed because you decided to put a label on the individual. And since you put that label there, that's why you're amazed. You're not amazed that this child is just naturally intelligent. You're amazed because you're amazed by the label this child was given. So they start us off with labels, and we growing into our adulthood, and we discover more about what they say we've been diagnosed with, right? Like I have this theory too. Like I don't like taking pills. I started taking pills just something respectfully as like, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot, and I'm gonna do like y'all say, the therapists and these
Mm-hmm.
counselors, right? And I take it, and I'm like, wow, why does it taste like I have iron in my mouth?
Mm-hmm.
Mm, I'm still taking it, right? And then I start having all these other side effects, and it makes you think like, you tell me pretty much when I go to this therapy, whether it's inpatient, outpatient, you tell me I'm taking all my meds like I'm supposed to, and in order for these meds to take effect, I have to be the one to think positive and change and make sure that I stay okay. So let's go back to common sense, you guys. Common sense tells me then that I don't really need this fucking pill that you're constantly putting in my
Mm-hmm.
face.
But I realized that's how they got paid. I realized when they told the parents this and they treated it that way, that's how they received their money. It's a gimmick. It really is. I've noticed, and I know a lot of people aren't going to be a fan of this, and I've noticed that the whole society as we grew is all about marketing and making money. It's all a strategic way to get finances. They used us as a dollar. They used us on the trading block. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay,
Right.
this one is going to be in prison for the rest of life, so they're only going to get this much money for this person. This person's going to be out here and doing this, so they're only going to get money for this person. I don't think we're looked at as beings of having a uniqueness. I think we're looked at as money, as market value. What is our value to society?
Yep, that's how it is.
And
It's
because
a
we ask,
caste system.
as a what?
It's a caste system.
Yes.
Now, what is a caste system? Like in certain countries, caste systems, you got everyone from the highest levels of people, the richest people in the country, all the way down to undesirables and untouchables, which are the lowest humans that live in pits. I don't want to tie it to everything, but there's a caste system here in America too. And I felt a lot of times I was on the lower rung of that caste system because I just became a drunk, an alcoholic. I swung a hammer for years and all my money went into beer. And I was just making money off me until I got by long enough to get my next drunk driving. And that was probably all planned. They're like, of course this motherfucker's going to get a drunk driving. Now, when I quit repeat offending, I can't get a word in edgewise from government officials. They do not give a shit about me. And I've never felt more undesirable in my life and more at the bottom of a caste system. And that sucks. And I think there's different versions of caste systems that exist everywhere outside of the human mind, the way even we would look at people. They say that rich people don't like poor people at all. They're disgusted by them. I'm somewhat inclined to believe that based on some things I've seen, read, and observed. And that sucks. And I believe feeling like you're in a lower rung of a caste system, especially monetarily, especially when I tell people I'm not interested in money and I get flack and attacked for it, I realize how much these things are important to everybody. And we really are just kind of valued by our net worth. And that's terrible to me. I feel more valuable than a dollar sign.
And I don't even think it's just our net worth. I think it's how much we want to participate. I think we're valued by whether we believe in what they're telling us or not. If we fit in, then we'll be okay. But if we don't fit into what they say and that's constructive ideal of living, then we become the outcasts. And that's when we're looked at as bipolar, schizophrenia, all that stuff, because we are not living in with what they said is easy to do. If I can easily manipulate you, then you'll be okay in life. But if I can't easily manipulate you, then you're going to be a problem.
It's crazy. You are a problem. Even if you want to do the right thing. I told people I don't ever want to swing, not to just go off about me, but I'm going on my experiences. I told people I don't want to swing a hammer for money. I don't want to swing a hammer just to make money. And you're like, well, what are you going to do? I'm like, I'm going to swing a hammer for anybody who needs me to swing a hammer so I can help people. And then I've been called stupid, crazy, out of my mind, insane things for saying that we can do better as humans. Because I don't want to fucking spend my entire ruin my back unless someone else is happy.
So I have a question. Why would you let it bother you?
What do you mean?
You can't change how they feel. You can't change what they're going to say. So why do you let it affect you mentally where you can get irate within yourself? You feel yourself worked up from it.
Oh, I'm always irate. No.
That's what I'm saying.
What I've done is learn to deal with the irate feelings better. And that's one of those things I back off. And I love being in social situations. A lot of people don't get along. My relationships suffer because I want to stay out all night and talk to everybody. I don't get burned out from that. I get burned out from thinking. And I can't get away from my thoughts a lot of the time. I turn TVs and fans and shit on and do music and stuff. People don't burn me out as much as just being by myself and thinking about things.
Okay.
That's always a problem.
I can receive that. See, I'm the opposite, but I can receive that. And you know what I've learned? And it took me a long time. I got some years on you, so it took me a long time to get to this point. But I learned that somebody else's perception, there's reality into it. There's some truth into their perception. I'm stopping myself from trying to understand where they're coming from because I can't relate to it because I don't think that way. And that's not fair because at some time I have to be able to stop myself and realize why did they feel this way? Why did I see it this way? Why are they feeling this way? And because I get
it. I get why people would tell me that. But my problem with it was collective thought.
Hey, one second. I'm saying for me, even with you, to want to know why you feel the way you do and why you allow it. I'm willing to sit in quiet to receive so I can have an idea of why you feel the way you do. A lot of people don't want that and don't have that. They don't care for that part. They want to just, their way is the only way to thought. I said something to someone and they're probably not even going to speak to me anymore because of it. And I just wanted to know how come and why they felt that way about it. Because I wanted to know. I have an issue with certain things, and I feel some certain things are unacceptable that are not okay to do. So I asked somebody about it to want to know why they did it, and they probably took it as if it was an attack because a lot of people feel like they're constantly being attacked, and you're not. I don't care what society says. You're not. They're the problem, not you. You're allowing yourself to involve them to make it become your problem. But you don't have to.
Now, is that directed at what I said?
No.
Because when I speak, when people say that to me, I understand. Like I said, I understand exactly why someone would tell me that. You got to change your relationship with money because that's what has been going on forever. And then our system of money did work for a while. It did, but it's collectively. I'm very irritated that everybody has got. I wish a few people. It's pipe dream would just be like, you know what, you're right. Fuck this. We can do better. We can just do better. We can help people. You don't have to. People don't see their kids I talk to all the time who have high-paying, lucrative jobs because that everybody's working 2 jobs. Everything's weird. It's scary to me the way people think more than irritating a lot of the time. It's scary. And I think things right now, it's easy to get stimulated because I said in a comment earlier, we don't talk politics on the show, and I do my best to refrain from it. But I believe politics is a hotbed, especially right now with certain things happening, and that is very overstimulating people. I've noticed that people in my both friend groups are very overstimulated and very divided. And I've been dipping out. I've been dipping out on certain things. I love political commentating, but even I can't do it right now.
It makes no sense to me. I can't. That's another thing. I can't wrap my head around it. I don't know why. I don't know why society's so stuck on it to feel that that's an important thing. I can't wrap my head around it at all. I guess everybody needs some kind of dictatorship, I guess, to have a controlled chaos.
Governments happen naturally.
But it doesn't have to. That's my
It always does.
I know.
Always.
But to me, it doesn't have to. Huh?
Everybody wants to end up saying, well, this guy Phil, he's really good at fucking throwing a spear. We should follow Phil. Phil leads a bunch of people to getting more food. More food means better for everybody. It's natural for us to communize and not communist, just become communal animals. And it's hard to do without a point-driven directive. And usually one or two people can do that pretty well at first.
See, and it's hard for me to see that because I don't think that way. But I get where you're coming from, though, because I can see that side of it, and I know why people want to do that. I feel that instead of following Phil, I just learn how to get my own food and not worry about Phil.
That's good too. Maybe Phil's a good teacher. That's what my point is I think we're doing it wrong. It's not that it's wrong. You're doing it wrong. Phil could be an awesome teacher, but Phil, we ain't got Phil up there right now. Caveman Phil, we got some fucking crazy shit, bro. So
I could care less. It's entertainment. It's all satire to me, including politics. It's all satire, including politics to me. It's all satire. It's all for entertainment. None of it is makes any sense. This world does not make any sense to me, to be honest with you. I get so much in life though, but a lot of things I just can't get. And that's where I probably have the overstimulation because I remove so much from me. Then when I surround myself around somebody, I walked into this room with this lady and I love interaction with people, saying hi and stuff like that. I love making people feel good. And I said lady respectfully. And she walked into the room and she was like, she didn't say nothing to me. And I said hi. And I grabbed her shoulders and I said hi. And she was like, don't touch me. And I said, oh, okay. And I let her go and I'm like, why are you aggressive? And she's like, I'm not aggressive. I'm black. And I was like, I'm black too. Like, I can't make sense of some people of why they're angry. And they say, oh, I'm not angry. This is how I am because I'm black.
I know a lot of really nice black people.
I'm not even talking about black people.
I'm just saying.
But I'm saying that was her excuse of being, an asshole.
Yeah, that's not good.
I'm an asshole because I'm black. And I'm like, she's like, I'm not aggravated. I'm not aggressive. I'm just black. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm black too. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't know why people rather be mad than happy. And I know people are going to attack it, but I didn't say it. I did not say it, but I've had many people come to me and said that they're not racist. Just because they're pro-black doesn't mean they're anti-white. And I get it. I wish society didn't have to separate everyone. Yeah. I wish love was it. I wish that we all could just love one another without saying because I'm rich, poor, white, black, blonde hair, blue eyes. I wish society didn't have to separate people.
It does sometimes. Like, I just wanted to join a construction humor group. It was jokes about cutting boards and construction humor. And I joined this group. And it was the most disgustingly puke onto the fucking floor and take 5 minutes to just have a cold sweat racist thing I've ever seen. I've saved screenshots from this group that are some of the worst, most abhorrent, horrid racist things I've ever seen in my life. Horrible. Whole profiles on the group designed to denigrate race. And I just wanted jokes about cutting board, and I had to dip out. I saved some pictures and stuff, and I was like, my God. I was sad.
Yeah,
I can't wrap my head around ignorance. Go ahead, Appetite.
I feel
Please.
like it's all by choice.
It
That's
is
that
by
word. It's all by choice. I was gonna say earlier, I was just thinking something came to me. We keep on saying society, right? And I was like, man, maybe we should all change the way we look at the word society versus seeing it as a whole, look at it as just one person, because evidently society is controlling. So that's one person, that's one being, it's not a whole. You feel me? So
facts.
that's one person that's controlling everything that's going on. That's why everything is the way it is, because of that one person.
Facts.
And it's just a different insight to have on it. I deal with racism. Um, I deal with it fair. I've had to learn how to deal with it, and by choice, I still feel like even when I get put in positions where I could tell someone's being racist, it's like this, man. I'm expected to react just like you were expected to do what you're going to do being racist towards me, right? So I have a choice, and it's just keeping it a stack. I teach this to my kids. That person's already got their mind made up before you even came across their path.
Facts.
You understand? So versus
Facts.
looking at it as like, oh, I got to react to this, man. You wouldn't you're not going to be the first. You won't be the last. You know what I'm saying? And how you react to it is how you deal with it. I can get pissed off all day and scream, shout. I can do videos. I can do all that. Somebody else has too. You feel me? And ain't nothing been done. Nothing different. If anything, things have got more heated. People just turn up. So it's just at that point in time when somebody's making that choice to be that way towards you. It ain't no just walk away thing. It ain't no, let somebody just spit in your face. You got to think about yourself. Like, really, it's really you. It's your choice. It's really you on how you react. And that's one thing I've been proud of, is knowing that, say, man, like, that's all you got. That's all you got to do and think. You can even say it. That's all you got, and walk off.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't going to get nothing else. I don't care what race you are. If you're experiencing racism, look, I'm saying this. I don't care. I'm black. I don't give a damn if you're white. I don't give a damn if you're Mexican, Asian, purple, green, blue, alien, whatever you are, whatever you identify as, whatever. You understand? Whatever it is that's going on, because it's all different forms of racism. Just look at it like that. That's all you got.
Yes.
That's
You
the
know.
most simplest thing. It's simple as hell. Think about how simple it is. If you sit back and
Mhm.
we sit back and we all think right now, damn, it's common sense that's what society has taught us. That's what society has taught us all our lives. Like, it don't matter what age group you're in. Right now, you understand one or some form of racism. It does not matter your age group, because that's what society has taught us. So I'm telling you now, if you come across it, you got to think, man, look, this shit been going on for years. I can't say that you getting it worse than this person. I can't say that it's as bad as it used to be back then. I can't, I ain't saying none of that. Just understand that, look, it's been around. It ain't going to go nowhere. People use it on the daily, just like you use toilet paper to wipe your ass.
Facts. Facts.
Move around with that shit. Quit reacting to that shit. Don't give it power.
Facts.
The only reason why it has power is because we all react. It don't matter what
Facts.
race you are. If you're listening to my voice, you're watching, I'm telling you directly, pointing at you, go stand in the fucking mirror. If you react, you're giving it power.
Facts.
Point blank.
I told my husband that today. I told him the other day, but it hit today. And I said, ignoring it. is the best response, or what best controlled response is not responding at all.
That's only gonna
You
make
can't
shit
don't
worse.
respond in anger.
Huh?
Don't respond in anger. It's like if you punch the
Don't
racist's teeth
respond
out.
ever. You don't have to respond ever. Nothing needs a response.
Some things, and don't get it twisted. I know in certain situations you can't avoid where people do some
But nothing
outrageous
needs a
shit. But
response.
yeah, yes, for real. I get that. But just being realistic about it, sis, I'm saying, because there's situations where people do pull out pistols on people and do
I
stuff
get
like
that.
that.
I
You know what
get
I'm
that.
saying? So
I've been
I'm
physically
telling you
assaulted for
now.
my sexuality.
It doesn't matter. So have I. I get it. I'm just
Yeah,
telling you right
I've
now,
been
what's
beat
meant to
too.
happen shall happen, regardless of what you did and didn't do.
Yeah, you can walk away and not say nothing, and still, if dude or female got it
That's
to
right.
do whatever, they gonna do whatever. But a lot of
That's right.
times people just waiting for your reaction because they want to see how you gonna react.
Facts.
And that shit, it goes as simple as the schoolyard when you was a little
Facts.
kid. That's all this is. It's repetitive shit. When
Mm-hmm.
you was a little
Facts.
kid, you heard about it. Keep your hands to yourself. Watch what you say to people. But people feel like once you get to a certain age, it's like, I'm grown as fuck and I'm gonna say what I want to say. I'm gonna do what I want to do. This is my point of view. I respect your point of view, but
Yeah.
again, it's how you interact with people. It's really about that. I could talk to anybody. I don't care if you're
Facts.
afraid of me because of my skin tone. I guarantee you, I'll put a smile on your face because I'm determined
Facts.
to do that. I'm determined to do that. I don't care about none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like I walked to the store with my youngin, 3 days ago. Both of them young men. You feel me? They're mixed. And they open up the door for this individual. I don't need to say what race because that's not what's relevant.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? The point is, they open up the door and they got treated a certain way. But just by what they soaked up from me and understanding, it's like, yo, dude had a bad day, right?
Facts.
So versus feed in and be like any adult would, like, man, you ain't got to be rude to my kids. You understand? I don't got nothing to say to you because my kids showed you what I would say and what I would do.
Yeah.
That's in the mark.
So
Sometimes you don't have to, it's just not entertaining certain shit. Usually anybody would react, but my youngins took care of that. They gave me that insight, like, nah, pops, because I'm not gonna hold you. It's them. So it's different when it's your youngins. Yeah,
I
I'm gonna
feel
pop
it.
off. But my youngins, the way they responded, it's okay, sir. Come on now. That's real.
Yeah.
Especially for that generation that gets shitted on. They shit on these kids and say it's the kids, but no kids, us though, for real. It's what we showing them. You feel me? It's what we showing them.
That's a proud moment. I swear, that's a proud
it
moment.
is.
Yeah.
I saw Danny Holmes's comment just pop up here, which is really cool. And he said that people react off reactions. I learned that. I love seeing the comments come up, and Danny has been messaging the whole time. Thank you to everybody commenting. And I wanted to dial it back and say, you don't have to have a reaction. That is correct, Kimberly. But what I was more saying is that there's a way you can learn to communicate with people where those situations barely even arise. Obviously, if someone's swinging a knife at your face, you're going to just, fuck you, I'm getting away. There's nothing left to say here. But not everything has to be an argument. You can have a totally non-reactive way of communicating with people. And that's a good way to be. And I've figured I've avoided a lot of things.
And I agree and I get that, but I had the lady that was just constantly pulling my hair and she was trying to hit me in my face over and over and over and over. And I kept saying to her, but listen, all I kept saying is, man, that is so ghetto. I'm not fighting you. And she's like, stop saying ghetto. I'm like, but how you're acting is what it is. And I don't have to stop saying it, but you can stop doing it, but I'm not going to fight you. And eventually she ended up stopping because I wasn't reciprocating it.
There you go.
Energy is only fueled when you give it attention. That's matter. We only exist when we give it attention. You don't give it attention, it doesn't exist. Politics don't exist to me because I'm not giving it attention. Doesn't mean it's not there, but it doesn't have to affect me because it don't. I care less. I don't care what people say.
I stopped that back when, like, people, when I was 18, I stopped voting. Well, I wrote it once when I was 18, and that was it. I hadn't written again since then, because I always felt like it doesn't matter what side you on. You feel me? Like, I look at the main problem, like, and I know we don't get into that, so I'm not going to say what side, but I look at the main problem as this: we have problems here in our country. There's an old school saying that I'm pretty sure has been in so many different households. You got to take care of home first before you take care of anywhere else. You
Yeah.
feel me? So ain't no sides of who you voting for. I don't care what it. I don't care if I don't care who's that. All I care about is when we start taking care of that. Can we take care of that, please? Because we got a lot of sick people here. We got a lot of homeless people here. We got a lot of people that need jobs. It's like the schooling's crazy. Like, I mean, you can send people overseas to teach for free, but we can't reproduce that here. It costs to get an education. Like, it just don't make sense. A lot of things don't make sense. So you got to make sense of things. You know what I mean? You got to be your own common sense. And with the political aspects, it's just none of it never made sense. It never made sense at a young age. It didn't make sense. And it still doesn't.
So with social overstimulation, we allow what we accept within ourselves. We have to shut some things down and take care of ourselves properly, and stop letting certain things overstimulate us. Stop letting certain things overwork us, because all it is designed to do is break us. You can't touch the untouchable. I don't know. That's just my theory.
I don't think you're wrong.
I agree.
I don't think you're wrong. I also don't think. What if Batman was a pacifist? That'd be boring, right?
Why?
Because it wouldn't be Batman.
Why would it be boring?
Well, it'd be the absence of Batman.
I wonder why do people need excitement? Why can't they create that within themselves and their own thoughts and their own reality? Why do they have to have something so it wasn't so mundane? I don't mind mundane.
I don't. Mr. Rogers, like, let's dial it back from Batman. Let's just go Mr. Rogers. He broke ground when he had a black man put his feet in a pool. That was a big thing on TV, and everybody was watching it, and it was a huge thing. And I don't know what people would say about it these days. Probably not the same reaction that was given. But I bet Mr. Rogers, when doing all that stuff, even with his big smiling face and his warm attitude, he went through a lot of stuff,
Oh, sure.
It was hard being Mr. Rogers. Now, we needed Mr. Rogers. I think we still need Mr. Rogers. And it's hard work being Mr. Rogers. And I think that's where collective communities come in, and the same mindset and being on that. Because I think that kind of looking away from problems is totally good to protect your peace. But I think we also got to praise people who are able to mediate and be that light and that beacon of light. And it is hard on them a lot of the time, even being a good person like that. So I guess that's the point I'm making. I appreciate those people. I appreciate keeping your peace too. I wonder what Mr. Rogers did to keep his peace, Probably.
I feel that. And you know what I love about your ideal and your perspective of things? My love for you is genuine. I love that you care about that stuff that I don't care about. I love that stuff's important to you, that I found no importance no more, because I realize that it's going to happen regardless. And I can't change it, but I could become the difference and stop allowing it to happen to me. But I love that you fight for it, and you want to be a humanitarian and a peacemaker, and you want better for this realm.
A shield. I feel like a shield. I want to be a shield sometimes. It hurts, but it feels good in the long run.
I love you for that. And
I love Appetite for doing all the hard work towards this show.
I love Appetite for many things. I love Appetite for finally loving himself, and he's showing his talent. I love that he is showing people how amazing he is.
I love y'all.
I love too. So I have such amazing things happen in my life, and I realized, because I used to think when I was younger that, things don't happen to good people. Just shitty things happen to good people. People take advantage of good people. And that's what
Yep.
I thought when I was younger. And as I realized, and I got blessed with this beautiful, amazing, amazing, amazing person in my life that I can't wrap my head around just how amazing this person is, that I realized you continue doing good and stop searching, it will find you. What's meant for you will come for you. You just have to align yourself in the energy of it.
Right.
And stop worrying about what other things and others feel, and just be. That's when you found your mate, because you were able to just be. Remember, Henry? Once we get just be, the universe will bless us what's meant for us. But we have to
I've
look at
noticed
the side. We have to remove the bullshit. We have to remove the belief system that we were instilled by others, the agreements that others put upon us. I love every relationship that I've ever been in because I learned something from every one of them. And every one of them are still beautiful people to me. I just choose to love me more, and they don't deserve to be in my life right now because they didn't appreciate me when they had a chance. And now I got someone amazing that does. I'm never going to do anything to jeopardize that. So I will eliminate those that didn't appreciate me in the first place, regardless. That's just how I feel.
It's necessary sometimes. It's necessary. You gotta make room, and then you have to allow yourself to learn. That's what I'm learning about you guys and a few other people that's in my life. It's okay to understand how to be loved and not understand as well. You know what I'm saying? And understand there's different types of love, and also you do deserve to get what you put out.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are moving right, and that's what I model myself off of, is just constantly like, how can I continue to just be better and do better towards others, even learning to do better towards myself. My main focus is always just seems to be, do right towards others, because people don't get that. That's what there's a lack of, is in this world we live in, is just folks don't understand. Sometimes it ain't about what people are doing to you, man. It's really about what you're doing to others.
Or you do yourself.
Man.
We allow what we accept, and that's what our subject is going to be about on Thursday. Not we allow what we accept. It's going to be about how people with mental health conditions treat us crappy, and then we stop allowing it because we start loving ourselves, and they still think they have room to come back into our lives. Where's the disconnect with them? What made them think that it was acceptable to continue using us as a welcome mat because we allowed it for so long? Doesn't mean it was acceptable. That's what we're going to talk about on Thursday.
Spoiler alert.
Receive.
Spoiler.
Receive.
I need to talk about that. That's happened to me. It's happened to people I love. And I see it so much that just because we tolerated you treating us like shit for so long doesn't mean that we're always going to tolerate you treating us like shit. Because once we wake up and realize that we love ourselves, we realize we deserve not no shit. And not no shit is not proper, but that's what I meant. Not no shit.
You deserve to love yourself, and you learn to love yourself. And sometimes in the process, I know of a person that is learning to love themselves, and I will include myself, but they're learning to love themselves, but yet individuals around them make it hard for them to do that. So they always feel like they're starting over. So that I feel like that show is going to be perfect, because a lot of people can relate to that. And a lot of this is what we speak on, is just being real with yourself. For those that, man, I appreciate y'all. By the way, I appreciate everybody that continues to give me the food, and y'all know food to me means wisdom. You know what I'm saying? That's nourishment. Helping me grow just by being here. So just I look forward to chiming in. This is something that it's always like it's like, yo, I know I'm about to feel better. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like I can expect to feel better after we do our shows, because I know that's what I got to look forward to. It
You,
ain't gotta be nothing bad. All the bad is before, but just getting this food, I tell you, would eliminate so much.
you
If you
told me, you
uh,
told me, you told me the other day, you said to me, sis, sometimes people aren't ready. They're still wanting to hit their heads.
right, right.
Because that was the
Let me
most
see.
realist thing in the fucking world. That was the most realist thing in the world. Because I want to help. And I want to reach my hand out and say, please, see something different. See this differently. Please feel differently about this. Can you see it from a different perspective? And you said to me, they're not ready.
This is
That's a really
satirical
matter.
therapy.
That shit was heavy.
It's because it's
And
truth.
it's sad, especially when it's someone you love that's just not ready.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I told you what I told you, because like I get those feelings. Like I just, even when reading words from people, that's what I said at first. I used to think when I was younger, like, man, I'm getting a lot of emotion from this, and I know it ain't mine. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, with that situation, you feel me? Like I can tell you for sure, like, that person's got something coming though,
Yeah,
and it is gonna be great. You know what I'm saying? But
for sure.
at the
Beautiful
same
thing.
time, yeah, they just gotta, you know what I'm saying, get them knots, go on and treat them knots a little bit. You feel me? And we all do. We all do.
Mm-hmm.
I got a couple of knots that I still got ice on myself. So I'm not one to
Yeah.
just be talking, but you feel me? But
I
yeah, for
feel it.
sure. For sure. It's real. It's real.
So just know that it's reciprocated where you're at. It's reciprocated. And it's not unnoticed. And it will never go unnoticed. It's needed. You are valued and needed. Henry, how you gonna wrap this up?
I'll wrap it up. Let me see. Y'all made me think of something.
Yeah, but
Let's just freestyle this. I'm gonna freestyle. This whole thing made me think. I had a real close loved one look at me. We were falling out, and they said, you shouldn't be in a fucking relationship at all. Well, that shit really bothered me for a while. And I thought to myself, hey, maybe they're right, but I didn't know how. I didn't know how to approach it whatsoever. And I had to think about it for several months. And they were right. They were right. I wasn't loving myself correctly. I was doing everything wrong. I was trying to pour points into making everyone else around me happy. And that was wrong. It really was. Because I had a lot of work to do myself. Had a lot of old ideas to put on the shelf. Hey! Now I'm moving into a happier key because I don't wish them ill. They were right, and I was wrong. And at the end of the day, I wrote this fucking stupid song to say I didn't have to do all that work on myself. I spent many years being a people pleaser, and even though I had this huge violent falling out, and that thought really permeated my brain and beat the shit out of me for years, you and several other people put that shit into perspective, that wasn't the worst thing that happened. That was just the biggest prominent thing that stuck into my head, and I had to learn from it. So if anything, I'd like to thank that person I got into that from. And I did get into a relationship, but I got into the relationship with the aspect that not everything is permanent. And my partner looked at me and said, if things fall out, they fall out naturally. And I almost cried very hard with that level of stability. So sorry for the stupid freestyle song. I just felt like doing that. But
no, never stupid.
that's what I felt.
Never
So
stupid.
yeah, it's perception. Look at
You
it.
need to turn that into a song and add to it and make it long. Look at that, just rhymed.
You did. Long and hard, like a country song.
But anyways, overstimulation happens constantly. Sometimes from social media, sometimes from social people, sometimes from yourself, which you allow. But at the end of the day, having self-control and controlling what we allow. That's my theory. How do you want to end it, Appetite?
Oh man, look at here. Yeah, I'm kind of overstimulated right now, just dealing with things. No. But it's always going to be peace and prosperity for me. And we all have favor. As far as what we talked about, recognize when you start feeling certain energies. Know what energies are good for you, know what energies are bad for you. Recognize where you're putting yourself, where you're placing yourself. Be more self-aware, as far as what you're going throughout the day. And it might be able to help you deal with the overstimulating or understimulation that you may be dealing with. Sometimes we got to place ourselves in certain positions in life, and right now I'm learning that, I'm growing in that. I'm growing in the aspect of learning to put myself in a more peaceful environment than where I've been at. So if I'm in a room and I notice that the energy's off, that means I'm going to remove myself and go sit outside for a little bit and listen to the birds. I'm going to listen to the wind. I'm going to listen to the trees. I'm going to look for something in nature to pay attention to and focus on. Nothing man-made. But of course, if you hear vehicles, you hear vehicles. But, do your best to listen for that nature. Listen for that peace. Create your own peace. You know what I'm saying? That's what we got to learn to do, is create our own peace. No matter where the chaos is at. The level of chaos that I'm going through and dealing with, what chaos? That's how I have to choose to see it. What chaos? You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing them birds chirping. I'm not hearing birds. I'm going to be honest. I hear the waves crashing. I hear the waves crashing. So everyone, thank y'all for chiming in with us tonight. It's definitely food and nourishment. When I get with you, Henry, and I get with you, sis, I love it. I love you guys. I love everyone for tuning in. I hope we all have a peaceful night and grab them frequencies, them high ones.
Yeah, just because we're at a buffet, we came to eat. Doesn't mean we have to eat everything here. You can choose. It's your choice. May your night be full of positive energy and high vibration. Ashe, everyone.